Y'all! Word on the street is that Diddy's allegedly going after his ops to try and silence them. And guess who's supposedly first on his hit list? None other than the one and only Katt Williams. Now, if you've been keeping up, this shouldn't come as a shock. Katt's been going in hard on Diddy, spilling some crazy tea about his alleged shenanigans. Let's rewind a bit. Earlier this year, Katt went on Club Shay Shay and basically predicted Diddy's downfall. And boy, was he right about that. Katt's never been one to hold back, and that's exactly what got him caught up in all this mess. Right after the new year, Katt teamed up with Shannon Sharpe for an interview that had the whole internet in a chokehold. Y'all, Katt doesn't speak often, but when he does, he really lets it all out. This time, he spilled some outrageous tea that had everyone gagging. He dragged a bunch of Hollywood heavyweights, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, you name it. But the real showstopper, the tea he spilled about Diddy.
Turned down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need to know. You here, get your...
Can you believe that? Diddy must have been down bad or head over heels for Katt, because offering $50 million for a one-night stand is wild. That's probably a Guinness World Record or something. But here's where things get real messy. Word on the street is that when Katt rejected Diddy's advances, things allegedly escalated to the point where Diddy threatened to put his hands on him. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard rumors about Diddy and this type of behavior long before Katt came through with his bombshells. For years, there have been whispers about Diddy's inappropriate behavior around a lot of young guys in the industry. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. People have been talking for a while about how Diddy's been out here wildin' and not exactly keeping things on the low, but he's allegedly been blackmailing and threatening people into keeping their mouths shut about what they know. What really had fans shook was when Cassie dropped that bombshell lawsuit against Diddy. She didn't just accuse him of being violent, she laid out claims that he manipulated and controlled her throughout their decade-plus relationship, and it got even darker. She claimed that he forced her to be intimate with male escorts that he'd bring to his infamous freak-off parties. The lawsuit was so intense that it came with a trigger warning right on the first page. Diddy might have thought settling out of court would put a lid on the situation, but instead it opened up a whole new can of worms. More women started coming forward with stories of alleged including one who claimed she was very young when it happened. This had everyone side-eyeing those freak-off parties and wondering if there was any real consent happening at all. Now, don't get it twisted. No one's coming for Diddy because of his what he does in his bedroom is his business. It's the shady, predatory actions that have people talking. Alright, so let's get back to Katt. In that Club Shay Shay interview, Katt built a whole brand on calling out the shady underbelly of the industry. If there's dirt to expose, best believe he's going to air it out. When it comes to sketchy business and all the Illuminati nonsense, Katt is not the one to be silenced. Which is why it's surprising that Diddy thought it was a good idea to put moves on Katt. He's never really been a fan of Diddy and has a long history of dragging him for his questionable relationships with younger men. Katt even threw out the word pedophile when talking about Diddy. If you know, you know. Some fans might think Katt's latest comments are just piggybacking off the wave of Cassie's allegations, but nah, he's been coming for Diddy for years. All the way back in 2011, Katt put both Jermaine Dupri and Diddy on blast, accusing them of allegedly abusing the Criss Cross boys.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah? Jermaine Dupri, king of the if you ask me, baby. Jermaine Dupri, small as a child.
Chris Kelly and Chris Smith were just kids when Jermaine Dupri first discovered them in the 90s. They were still in elementary school, but by the time they were 12 and 13, they were making serious waves in the music world. Unfortunately, behind the scenes, things were allegedly going very horribly. According to Katt, Jermaine was allegedly abusing them and even passing them around to others in the industry, including Diddy. These boys allegedly went through years of mistreatment and it left a lasting impact. Chris Kelly, in particular, developed an addiction, which many believe was a result of all the trauma he experienced. What's even sadder is that both boys supposedly felt something wasn't right with Jermaine, but they were just kids, led by promises of fame and fortune. Being so young and impressionable, they got caught up in a nightmare they couldn't escape. But it doesn't stop there. According to Katt, the passing out of young stars wasn't limited to Jermaine only. Diddy also allegedly had plans to pimp out the members of his girl band, Danity Kane.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm gonna off and pick them up and pip them out to my, he said, I'm gonna them out. I'm gonna get them all on, and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my, I was like, there's somebody kids, and walked out.
With all this in mind, it's not surprising that Diddy would allegedly want to take Katt out, especially because it seems to be his MO. I mean, did y'all hear about how he allegedly got Wendy Williams jumped in the 90s because she spoke on him being gay? Back then, Wendy Williams was one of the first few voices bold enough to try and expose Diddy's rumored secret gay activities on her Hot 97 talk show. Diddy had major clout at the time, and when he found out Wendy was digging into his business, he didn't take it lightly. Allegedly, he ordered the women from his girl group Total to jump Wendy and rough her up as a warning.
I remember I got off the air one day and them Total downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his car just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. Skell hiding like a girl. Thanks, Skell. I'm standing in the door like, what? And I'm literally about to go through. Now, I'm not like, what, let's fight, because I'm not one of those type of broad.
Diddy really misjudged that situation because having Wendy almost jumped wasn't nearly enough to make her stop. She kept pushing the narrative about him allegedly being on the DL, and Diddy hated it. He was so furious that he had her fired and tried to completely destroy her career.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
Wendy's ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, also discussed this in an interview, revealing just how close Diddy came to derailing Wendy's entire life and career. It's crazy how far he allegedly went to silence her.
Is it true that Diddy got her fired from the radio station? Did he have anything to do with that?
I think that he had, yes, I think he got, well, let's be clear, nobody got fired.
Okay.
He got suspended.
Okay.
Yeah. Did he use his influence and power with Steve Smith and them at the time, and God knows whatever his relationship was with the overall station, because Bad Boy was a powerhouse. We all know how Bad Boy dominated a large part of the 90s. And as far as New York, you know, they was a powerhouse. So was he, you know, King Joffrey Joe? Yeah. Did he go in there and shake him up and say, yo, you know, I want this chick off?
Oh, and there's also the part where Cassie revealed that Diddy allegedly tried to unalive Suge Knight for no reason at all. The document said, for example, on one occasion when Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura were using drugs together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. So yeah, it's not surprising that Diddy allegedly tried to get Katt jumped because it's the sort of thing that Diddy just loves to do, allegedly. Fans have been leaving comments like, Katt been exposing Hollywood, but people called him crazy. He told us about those parties in Hollywood. A lot of your favorite actors and musicians are involved in some sinister stuff, especially involving children. Another fan said, a lot of people are not ready for the truth. Katt has been telling the truth for over 2 decades now, and everybody just called him crazy and tried to have him blacklisted and destroyed his reputation and character throughout the years so they could make him shut up and go away. But Katt took a licking and kept on coming back. Some fans are even bringing Jay-Z into the conversation, saying, I always knew I was right about Jay-Z. We always knew about Diddy, but I always felt like Jay-Z had a lot of secrecy with him. And I'm not talking about what Dylan either. I'm talking about exactly what is being shown. Y'all, this is some heavy stuff. It's important to remember that these are all allegations and rumors at this point, but it's clear that there's a lot going on behind the scenes in Hollywood that we might never fully know about. So what do you think? Is Diddy really out here trying to silence Katt Williams? Or is this just another wild Hollywood rumor? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more piping hot tea. This is Hot Gossip signing off. Remember, in Hollywood, the truth is often stranger than fiction. Stay woke, y'all. Bye.